Welcome back to another episode of the Sweet Shots Podcast. Lucas Johnson alongside Mark Johnson and Chuck Johnson. We got a great show lined up for you today. Maybe one of our bigger hitters. But on the line, we have the recent North Dakota Open champ, Mr. Andre Metzger. And I believe we were talking right before we gave you a call, Andre. We think you're the first 4-time winner of the North Dakota Open. So this is big for us. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man. That was in the back of my mind. I always kind of want to do things that nobody had done before, and it really was in the back of my mind where other years I just wanted my parking spot. This year I wanted to do something bigger and better. That
is true. I mean, that parking spot is highly coveted in Fargo Country Club. That parking lot fills up quick North Dakota Open time.
It sure does, man. That parking spot is valuable. I even told Mikey before the deal, I was like, I'm going to come get my parking spot back.
I love it. It's as coveted as the Bobcat contract for your Corn Ferry option. Andre, this is Mark. I had the opportunity. I've been running that event for the last 17 years, and you've played in that event probably more than 50% of those that I've run. You're a class act. You're always gracious with the amateurs that you play with. And to have that presence and that understanding that it was to do something nobody's done before, 4-time winner. Walk us through it. Why do you have that success at Fargo Country Club? What do you think your game, or how do you manage yourself around that golf course that has given you that success there?
Yeah, that consistently.
Well, might have
quite a bit. Where in generally I'm a pretty straight hitter, but if I'm going to move the ball, I'd want to move it big, and it requires you to move the ball big time. Obviously that cut shot is a requirement, and I've got a pretty good big cut shot. I don't have a great little cut shot. My eye off the tee with that big cut shot that at least 5 times in the round.
There you go. And Andre, we kind of lost you there for a little bit in that first half. What was the point on the first half? I like the big cut move because that is important out there.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm in Bolin, South Dakota right now. I'm Yankton, so I'm no man's land.
Just fine.
I really don't know why exactly Fargo fits my eye. The fact that the greens are fast plays into somebody that makes a lot of putts like me, and the fact that you have to move, and that plays into my game because I'm a pretty straight hitter. So as long as I can turn it big one way or the other, that plays into my game.
For sure. And yeah, that golf course, Fargo Country Club, I know growing up around there, that was kind of the reason I started hitting that fade, because it doesn't really give you a drawer's option around there. So being able to move it big one way, that for sure helps.
Yeah. I mean, you think about it, you got hole 2, a big old cut, and definitely a high.
Yep.
That same exact shot, you hit it multiple times, but you got 2, you got 9, really even 7. You got 2, 7, 9, 10, 13, and 16. Really.
Yeah.
So all those you need that big cut, and then you have, in my opinion, you have to have the draw on 17 and.
Yeah, there's a few kind of requires a few of those shots. Now, are you around Fargo? Are you a bomber? Are you just pull driver everywhere? And I mean, like you said, you hit it straight enough. So is that like a driver everywhere course for you?
Yeah, I mean, I hit driver often, but it's amazing. I just keep getting longer as age goes. I know technology, everybody to some degree is getting longer, but for me, if you look at my career, I've gotten quite a bit longer as I've gotten older. It's obnoxiously longer. I mean, I'm still keeping young guys, which is incredible.
That's and that's been evident by your success. I want to pivot a little bit. We only have Andre for a short period of time. He's got to get ready to play another tournament. Yeah. So I love that. So we won't keep you too long, Andre. But pivoting to your success with playing in some PGA Tour events, I mentioned to you early in the week. I said you were, for a brief time. I mean, you were the media darling at this year's Waste Management. You had more face time than Brandon Chambly for a while on the Golf Channel. It was really fun. Talk us through that experience. So it's a tough Monday qualifier, tough event to get in, and you did it. And can you just walk us through that experience of qualifying for that, what it was like being that focus of the media, and then what that event was like for you?
Yeah, as far as the qualifier goes, I've done it for years. It's the toughest PGA event to qualify for. Mm-hmm. But my wife, at McCormick Ranch, I used to play out there all the time. So I've known the course for a long time. They tricked up the pins this year, which kind of played in my favor, because what a lot of guys don't realize is if they have these pins near the fall offs and you go for the putt, it's probably going to roll about 10 feet by, and you'll have some kind of double breaker coming back. But what I've learned is that double breaker is always straight as long as the speed's good. So I was able to make the 3 par putts that I think was the difference, and so that's what got me through there. As far as the Golf Channel, that was just a lot of fun. I randomly, they wanted me to come up last minute, so I ran up and just kind of went up there and just shot the crap with them. Had some fun, and all of a sudden everybody was high praise. I couldn't really believe it, but for me, I guess I enjoy talking and talk a lot, so it didn't seem like that hard of a work. But I got a lot of praise for that, so I'm very appreciative. And then as far as the tournament goes, everybody would think the 16 would be the one that takes, gets you all nervous and everything. But honestly, the shot that is the most difficult out there, in my opinion, definitely being a first-timer, it's number 10, that tee box. You got fans that are 20 deep right there all around you, and then you've got guys straight over your head right above you, and a lot of them. So I thought that was actually the most difficult shot for me both days, was just that tee shot. As far as nerves, I was counting on nerves for 16, and so I had 180 the first day. I had 188 into the wind, and I tried 8-iron thinking, I'm going to be nervous and just, just nuke this 8-iron. Yeah. And I did nuke it. I mean, Jimmy Walker hit 6-iron there, and I hit 8, so, but it did not get all the way back there. So I got booed for a 3 putt.
I mean, that's an experience in and of itself right there. I mean, you're getting booed on 16. That's
honestly, I was booing myself too. I made sure the crowd got going on that one.
That's good. That's funny. So that's something I always wondered, going into 16. I had the fortune of playing it in high school, just as they were taking it down, and you always fake pump up the crowd. Is that something that you did before your shot, where you're like, okay, I got to get the crowd pumped up. I don't want any drunk guys screaming in back my swing. I'm just going to get them as loud as they can so nobody screams in. Is that a strategy going into it, or is it just I'm going to hit the shot?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say that was my strategy. Honestly, there was a lot of there's just so much constant noise. Yeah, that you really don't notice one thing or the other. I had each day, I'd have 2 or 3 buddies that were out there that knew me, would try and heckle me, and I could pick out them, because they gave max effort to make sure I could hear them.
That's great.
So that was fun. But honestly, I anticipate a little extra adrenaline, and it just didn't come up on me. If I had possibly tried to pump up the crowd, maybe I could have created adrenaline in me. But doing what I've done for years and with how many wins I have, I've learned really well on how to just calm the nerves or really just try and calm the whole system, obviously through breathing and very simple thoughts. So I kept myself calm and still anticipated adrenaline, and it just didn't really work out that way.
Yeah, it is. I mean, to keep yourself calm in that scenario is equally as impressive as getting there, realistically. That's pretty cool.
Andre, where are you at now with the remainder of the summer and going into the fall, now that, Bobcat does pay for Corn Ferry qualifying? What's your plan for the fall and to get ready for the next opportunity?
Yeah, my next real opportunity. So I've got the Hillcrest Lady Pro-Am today. It's just a one-day event. I'm basically using it as a practice round, but I still think the winner gets like $5,000, so it's a great deal. I'm going to get to hang out with my wife today. That'll be great. And then I've got Hillcrest this weekend, and so that's a big event. It's one that I've wanted to the highest levels. I've actually dreamed over and over winning that one. A long time ago, I told my wife I wasn't ready to move on to the next level till I won that event. But I also thought I was going to win that event that year. So, it was a good lesson to watch the words that come out of your mouth, because once they're out there, they're out there. That saying has haunted me over the years. So I'm more in a battle to just get rid of that internal deal that I've created, more than the money, more than anything else, just to get that monkey off my back, which are the most difficult things to do. And then I got Q School in October. So that's my next opportunity to test out the things that I've kind of learned about why I think I'm struggling at the next level. I'm putting extra pressure. I basically got to start all over in the sense of how I learned to be successful at the mini tour level. I've got to re-implement that. It's not like I'm going in like, hey, I'm this guy that's won 40 plus times. I'm already ready to go. I've kind of taken that approach and it hasn't worked yet. So I need to switch to more of an approach where, hey, it's back to square one. Let's relearn how to compete at the highest levels. And, I'm excited. If you look at my season this year, minus the Phoenix Open, minus the last two Corn Ferry events, I've really had a lot of success this summer. So I understand how to do what I do right now on the mini tour level, but my game and my potential is ready to move on to the next level.
That's really exciting stuff there, Andre. That's definitely something I think we're going to be keeping an eye on, watching you, cheering you on from here. And it's, inspirational stuff really, and looking at your success. And then also goes to tell a story of just the path that some of these guys are on and how long a path and what it takes. And, it's always fun. And we were talking about before it, I was growing up at Fargo Country Club watching you dominate out there. And so to watch you keep battling and keep performing the way you do is a ton of fun on our end. So,
I super appreciate it.
Sorry, Andre, to interrupt. Mark again. You and Lucas have something in common. You both shot 73 on Sunday.
You tied a great player.
Yeah, you tied a great player. And
I'll
then
take it.
I mentioned this, Andre, and thank you for coming on the podcast, but you might be thanking us because after Hoagie was on the podcast, what happened, LJ?
Well, he won his first event.
Yeah, he did. He won after that. And then Amy Olsen had a great stretch after she was on the podcast.
That's
so,
right.
Andre, we're sending you with some good vibes for being on the show. We appreciate that.
I'll take all I can. I really appreciate the time, man. I love talking to you guys, and this is great, man. I'm excited.
Well, let's do it again. We'll catch up with you if you don't mind. I might bug you down the road, but we'll keep watching you do it hole by hole, fairways and greens.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And I love being bugged, so please bug me anytime you want.
All right. Thanks so much, Andre. That's Andre Metzger, 4-time North Dakota Open champ, 2023 North Dakota Open champ. Best of luck down the road, Andre. And we'll hope to talk to you soon. Good luck.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Have a great day.
You too. See ya. So that's Andre Metzger. What a guy. And what a guy, really. Honestly, like I kind of touched on, I grew up watching him around Fargo Country Club. And so to kind of see it come full circle that way, and boy, does he got the game to do it, I think, moving forward. So best of luck to him down the road in South Dakota. That's you could tell he was middle of nowhere a couple
cut out a little bit. So we'll fill in.
How old of a guy?
That's a good question.
What'd you guess?
It seems like a question we could have asked.
Man, I think I knew that. And he'd probably shoot me if I get this wrong, but I thought he was 38.
Okay.
But I could be
30s,
completely wrong.
Yep.
I love that he said, hey, he's getting longer
right
with the age.
I'm thinking I have some hope.
There's hope.
Yeah, Chuck.
I'll say.
Although we're elderly.
Chuck,
you and I are elderly.
What's the workout regimen like?
Right.
I don't know.
No,
it's
what
not
a
golf
class act.
specific.
Yeah.
He is a classy guy, so gracious, so genuine with our members that we pair him with, and really a great champion for Bobcat North Dakota Open.
Absolutely.
So fantastic. I'm glad he was able to join us on the show.
Yeah, and I know with the setup that North Dakota Open had, it was a little different this year. Just with usually it is as firm as concrete and as fast as lightning out there, and with the recent rains and just the course conditions were a little softer. There was something I thought about asking him right as about he hung up, but that was impressive playing from him out there. I mean, I think he went 66, 67.
And then threw a 73 at him.
Threw a 73.
He was tough that last day. The wind started blowing a little bit. You were playing. So we should pause everything and say, hey, congratulations to you, Lucas. You didn't win, but I mean, you made the cut.
Nice
and that's
job.
a tough cut.
Yep.
You only 22 in ties make the cut in the Bobcat North Dakota Open on the professional side. We had 67 professionals play. And it's not as though you're out there grinding on the tour with these guys. You're teaching golf and club fitting and et cetera, et cetera. So congratulations.
You. Yeah,
you were
nice
in the
job.
mix. You had it at 4 under at one point. You think if you could have kept that going, you and Andre you could have talked about it in the final pairing.
We might have, I would have been, he might have been hitting into me. I think, I don't know if, 6 under 2 days in a row would have been in the cards just with the way I was playing. But yeah, I grew up around Fargo Country Club, and I think that was definitely a bonus for me, was to have a little bit of course knowledge in there. I got the opportunity to play with Nate Adams, senior on North Dakota State, and the two new guys. We got Max and Rylan. Rylan's a sophomore transfer, and Max is a freshman. And so to be able to kind of walk around with those guys, I mean, they used it for qualifying, and having gone through it, it's nice to be considered one of the old guys out there now. It's fun. Thanks, Chuck. Yeah.
Well, your final pairing was a great pairing. You played with Josh Persons, past amateur champion.
Previous guest on the show.
And
That's
Josh has
right.
been on the show, a lot of success. Jake Scarproot, a past amateur champion.
Mm-hmm.
And then Gabe Benson. Concordia player, had a great tournament.
Great tournament. Yeah, he played really solid. He
Active
played well
Cobber. He's playing for the Cobbers now. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, so I mean, it was a great tournament all around, and I really, really enjoyed it. And I think I was kind of talking about it with people that were walking with me. I think as I aged out of it now, I realized that I'm not the recovery player I once was. So my main goal this week was just to avoid as much trouble as I could, fairways and greens. And a lot of times I meant taking 3-wood off the tee instead of hitting driver. I remember back in college going around, and it was hit driver everywhere, hitting it on 1, 2, hitting it on 9, and then you're looking at 16 and 13 and all these different ones. And I mean, a lot of times this week I took 3-wood because I could still advance it 270 yards and have a little longer in, but if I missed it, I wasn't going to be in big trouble.
Sure.
So,
how about our amateur champion, Ian Simonich?
Yeah.
I will say North Dakota State Bison this summer has just been on an absolute tear with the wins that they've had. Yep. And now to add the amateur champion in North Dakota Open, because that too is not an easy title to win.
No.
There. And it's interesting to note that because it's a North Dakota Open, I mean, it's an open championship, so these amateurs are playing with professionals. I mean, there's an added level of intimidation factor, right? I mean, you're playing with guys that do it for a living.
Sure.
And to to pull it off like he did. I mean, I watched it. He had a 8-foot putt on 18 to win, and he drained it.
Yep.
I mean, that was stone cold right there.
Yeah. Good to see.
him.
And the Bison represented themselves quite well.
Yeah, I think
4 out of the top 5.
Yep, 4 out of the top 5. I think they had 5 or 6 in the top 10.
I mean, that's
wow.
And I know it's a home course for the Bison, but University of Minnesota had players, University of North Dakota had players, and the Gophers. I mean, that's a good squad.
Solid.
And certainly they're not playing a home course, but the Bison represented themselves very well.
Very well. And I had talked to Coach Steve Kennedy right after the tournament, and I think he's got some tough decisions making going into this year as far as who makes that final
Another
5
guy
squad
on here.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we should probably have him on again
Probably.
to kind of dissect. But, I think every single one of those guys returning can go out and shoot 64. They've all got the talent level, and I think the toughest decision is trying to figure out who makes that first starting
You're right.
5. And I know they're going down to Iowa next week already.
Okay.
So they've got
Season
a week.
kicks off then, or is
Yep.
this
Yep. So it's I think it's University of Iowa they're going down to.
It's good to see Jake Scarperud playing better.
Yeah, and he played really
solid.
well. So
Yeah.
and talk about home, he's the club champ at Fargo Country Club.
Yes.
So that was fun to play with him. And,
Josh, yep.
Yeah, I mean that was kind of a rematch for the ages there between the 2 FCC members. So that was fun to watch. And yeah, I never had anything. Jake shot 70, and I think Josh shot 73, and it's fun to watch those guys play and to be in the mix. I didn't have it all click on Sunday, but I mean, it was, I made some great par saves that I would not like to have over again. So I'm going to hang my hat on those and say it could have been a lot worse on Sunday, but still made some money. So
It's a great tournament. Thanks for playing. Congratulations for your success, and thanks for everyone that did play in that event. What a great way to make an impact in the community. Bobcats, the corporate sponsor, the members of Fargo Country Club come together, and of course the charity partner, the Village Family Service Center. They receive quite a bit from this. So it's great to see that event come together.
And congrats to you, Mark, on another, 17 years, did I hear you say?
I'm trying to think. Yeah, I think this is my 17th. 17th one of
successful
these. Maybe
run on
18th.
run on the tourney.
So,
well done.
Nope, fun to be a part of it. So.
Really, really cool stuff. Yeah, we can just sit here and talk about it all day, but I tell you what, earlier this morning, we record this on Tuesday, earlier this morning at 9 a.m., Captain Zach Johnson released his Ryder Cup captain's picks. And gentlemen, I tell you what, I think we've got a full segment of talking about that coming up.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that after the break.
After the break, there's a lot to talk about,
Dissect.
and I'm ready to get into it because I'm pumped.
Excellent.
So, on the other side of the break, we got Ryder Cup talk. Thanks again to Andre Metzger, your 2023 North Dakota Open champ, and congrats to those guys that played in there. Best of luck to him, and we'll catch you on the other side of the break. We'll be right back. This segment brought to you by Sweet Shots Ladies League, presented by Neutral. This league's starting in 2.5 weeks, September 19th. It'll be Tuesdays at 6 p.m. Grab yourself a team of 4 ladies. Come on out. We're playing a scramble. Each week we're competing for some prizes, some season-long prizes there as well. We're working with Neutral. We're going to get some drink samples going out. It's our first ladies league with the sponsor, so I'm really excited about getting them involved and making it as fun as possible. You're getting out of the house, you're playing golf with your friends, and we're going to add a little bit of competition in there. So Sweet Shots Ladies League starting September 19th. Go to our website, sweetshots.com, to get signed up online. You and 3 other gals have yourself a great time here at Sweet Shots. It's a great night.
Fun night. It's a night out.
Yep.
It's
Have
a
a
night
blast.
Night out. So again, Sweet Shots Ladies League, get signed up for that. But pivoting now to the big news of the day, the picks are in for the United States Ryder Cup team. And we touched on it last week about kind of what our predictions were for who's going to make the team, the big question mark that kind of loomed over everyone's head. But we'll jump right in. So Captain Zach Johnson.
Zachy Janssen.
Zach Janssen. He makes the pick for the final 6 spots, and those guys are Sam Burns, Ricky Fowler, Brooks Koepka, Jordan Spieth, Colin Morikawa, and Justin Thomas.
Did you say Brooks?
I did.
Okay. And JT.
JT does make the team.
I thought he would.
You did. You said that last week.
You did send a text about that. Now, look, not all joking aside, this is mainly a joke, but yeah, I mean, you put Justin Thomas on there because we're going to Rome. We haven't won on the Europe soil since 1993, so if you're going to lose, you might as well lose big. That's my take on Justin Thomas.
Terrible attitude.
Do you think we're going to get pounded?
I do. I hope not, but I do think realistically, I think that we would.
So those are the captain's picks, and then those that made it based off merit or play, right?
Yep.
Scotty Scheff, Wyndham Clark, Brian Harmon, Xander Schauffele, Patrick Cantlay, and Max Homa. That's
right.
Solid squad.
It is, but you talk about, like we talked about last week, there's nobody hotter on the greens than Lucas Glover with the putting. And so...
And I can't argue with that other than I think had he had a good showing this past weekend.
Yeah.
I think then Zach's got a tougher decision.
But I think he was taking JT based on the interviews this morning, and Zach's, they go through, they do the player bio. What have they won? What have they done to get on the team?
Yep.
And based on Zach's interview this morning and Justin Thomas's, it seems like that pick to me was solely based on locker room morale.
Sure.
That's fair.
I don't think it was very play-based because I don't think you can make that call based on his recent performance.
No, but couldn't you have had JT as an associate captain, bring him in, and you still get that benefit in the locker room, more or less? I mean, I look at a guy like Keegan Bradley's off the team, a guy, although, in the final standings, Justin Thomas is one spot ahead of Lucas Glover.
Is he?
JT's 15, Lucas Glover's 16.
But it's multi-year points.
You're right.
And I think you got to go on recent form. But yeah,
if you're Europe, who would you rather not play against? JT or Lucas Glover?
Right now, Lucas Glover. I would rather play, honestly, if I'm on Europe, I want to play Justin Thomas because I'm going to make 3 birdies right away.
What if he missed it
too?
What if Morikawa should have been out and Glover should have been in?
I'm fine with
JT,
that too.
right?
I mean, Morikawa had a great tour championship.
Yeah, I did.
And he's been playing solid.
So he's had, okay, so make sure he's on the team.
So how about you got one live guy?
Yeah. The only other argument you could make would be Bryson, and I would switch him out for JT. But I don't think Spieth would have let that happen as a captain's pick because I can almost guarantee Zach Johnson's going to Spieth and goes, okay, who do you
Right.
You guys, you and JT were almost unstoppable at Whistling.
Sure.
Can you vouch for this guy?
Okay.
Now I was working a little theory that Brian Harmon, his made perfect partner would be Lucas Glover because they both live on Sea Island together. I found that little morsel. So it's like, and I think they both play Titleist.
I forget that Brian Harmon's on the team.
Brian Harmon's on the team.
That's quiet.
So who are you pairing Brian Harmon with? Well, it would have been Lucas Glover. They're buddies.
Yeah.
They play the same golf ball.
Yeah, who do you pair him now with? You can't pair him with Brooks. I tell you that right now.
Well, that's where I'm looking at Brooks. Who, if you're the captain, if you're Zach, who are you putting Brooksy with?
Scheffler.
And Scheffler can't make a putt.
No.
But tee to green, he's best in the world.
He'll get you anywhere you need to go.
He's the best.
I like the Koepka Chef. Yeah, I think earlier you said Europe's pretty much going to run away with it, Zach or Lucas.
Yeah,
I disagree.
Ooh.
When you got the best golfer in the world in Scheffler, get him to the green.
Yeah,
anything can happen.
No, I mean I can see that, but
and
then
Brooksy's a bulldog.
But then you got
Brooksy's my guy.
then you got Wyndham Clark and Brian Harmon.
I agree. I think we're set up to get our clocks cleaned.
I mean,
Victor Hovland right now.
Yeah, he's single-handedly good. Yeah, he's gonna win all his matches.
Rory. I mean, they're now. I think they're going to have the same problem. I don't know. Do they have any live guys on their team?
Well,
they haven't announced yet, right?
Not right now. No,
Hovland, Lowry, Fleetwood, Hatton, McIlroy. Is that who you are anticipating?
Yeah, I mean, so they're basically they've only got one or 4 confirmed in McIlroy, Rahm, Hovland, and Hatton. This next week's big for them because they were going to get spots based on the world points and spots based on the European points, and that's going to be your 6 automatic. And the world points right now are between Tommy Fleetwood and Mats Fitzpatrick. So if Fitzpatrick plays this week and he's T7 or better, he wins that spot. Otherwise, it's Tommy Fleetwood automatically in. Then European points, Robert McIntyre has a healthy lead. So it's almost guaranteed that Robert McIntyre's on there, which to me feels like a Brian Harman pick.
He doesn't scare me.
No, I'm fine. I'm fine there. But that right now is the only name that in the top 10, you've got Rory, Rahm, Hovland, Hatton, Fleetwood, Fitzpatrick, Straka, Shane Lowry, Justin Rose, Rob McIntyre. The only two that I'm like, are Justin Rose and Rob McIntyre because Justin Rose is way too nice. He's not a match play kicker.
You're right.
He's not a match play killer.
Okay, how about this angle? The last time they had the Ryder Cup, US won 19-9.
Yep, on U.S. soil.
Correct. That's a whooping.
That is.
They had a name for it.
Where was that at?
Whistling.
Oh, that was at Whistling.
19-9. It was the youngest US Ryder Cup team in history.
They were hungry.
So I'm just thinking now. Yes, we got a Wyndham Clark, Brian Harman, and a Max Homa. The new, right? Those are the new guys? The first timers?
They've got 4 rookies. Yep.
Who's the fourth?
Burns.
Okay. So in a 19-9 squad, ass whipping, we're throwing just 4 new guys. 8 were on there last time.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's going to be a pound. I think you got the core guys that are still there. And I would say, Sam Burns and Max Homa, they get playing. They're as good as anybody.
They're good.
Nice, isn't it? How about, do we know the golf course? Like, is this an
I have
irons
no
golf
idea,
course?
'cause you
Is
said
this-
something about the
I'm
way
gonna
they
be
set
there.
it up, right?
I don't know if I've mentioned this on the show previous weeks,
You
but
might
I'm
have.
going to actually be there.
just a couple times.
They haven't asked me to play. Could be an alternate, but so the European Tour had an event there this year, and I tried to watch a little bit on TV. It's not it's in Italy. It's very hilly. It's a lot of undulation, like Augusta type ups and downs. It's not heavily wooded.
Well, and that's like,
But
it looked like it semi-forgiving out the tee, and that like the landing areas look largish.
But I think it's long grass. So like if you spray it, you're going to find yourself in long, wispy, fescue type grass.
Okay.
So my impression, and I think I read it's not a bomber's golf course. I mean, you gotta, and that's historically, I think what Europe does to us, right? They
take that out.
facilities courses where you got to hit fairways.
So
if you're
to
going to
neutralize a D-Sham and a DJ back in
the bombers,
the bombers, right? Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Which aren't on our team.
Right. So then you look at, okay, who does? You've got iron players, Colin Morikawa, Wyndham Clark. He's got a great iron player. Scotty Scheffler, obviously.
Yeah.
Ricky's been better. Yeah. I mean, I'm still not convinced that the U.S. is going to run away with it.
No, I agree. I think it's going to be closer, and I think U.S. I think it'll be a tight match.
Would you right now, because we're a betting podcast?
Yep.
I saw the odds right now. U.S. is like minus 140.
Mm-hmm.
Europe's plus 150, and a tie is plus 1,200. Would you put money on a tie right now?
Dang, yeah, I like that. I'll be in Vegas this weekend. I should look into that.
You're going to Vegas?
Leave Friday.
Oh man, we'll have to give them
Yeah.
a couple dollars.
Yep.
You send us some info.
Yeah, I'd
there,
love
but-
that. Throw some money down.
I mean,
So I have a
historically,
question. Can
I
I
don't know.
back up a little bit?
Sure.
So the live guys, European live guys, what big names are not going to make the team for Europe that
Poulter.
normally would have been?
Ian.
Poulter.
Oh, thank
Our
goodness.
nemesis.
Get that guy out.
Well, the odds to win
about-
just went way up because
Paul Casey.
Paul Casey, Poulter. Who else would be there?
Who's usually Garcia?
Sergio.
He was always bubble though. He was.
He got in there and he always a nemesis too.
Never
He's a-
want to play Sergio.
No,
And
he's a thorn in
So
our
there's a
side.
couple guys that you'd never want to play if you're an
Right.
American Ryder Cup player. They're not there.
No, but I tell you who I don't want to play right now, and it's Rahm and Hovland.
Oh, Rahm. I'm not worried about Rahm.
Get
kinda
outta here.
worried
You
about Rahm.
serious?
I'm not worried about Rahm.
He gets the Spanish blood boiling a little
Yeah.
bit.
I get
That's my
nightmare-
point.
I
He
get
gets the Spanish blood boiling. And
I'm
look
having nightmares right now of watching John Rahm on hole 15 just absolutely double fist pump, like
Yeah, there could be some of that.
just getting the crowd pumped up. I'm just
No.
terrified of that right now.
You think so?
Yes.
So there's a few guys that aren't going to make the team from
Liv.
Europe that would probably been in the mix.
Well, and that's where you got Justin Rose and Rob McIntyre in the top 10 world points for that. I think that's why they sneak in there.
Yeah. So McIntyre in placement of Sergio. I'd take that trade.
Or Poulter.
Poulter and
I tell you,
Rose instead of Poulter.
The other guy I'm sneaky worried about is Sepp Straka. That guy catches fire.
Yeah. Well, all these guys are
Sneaky
so good. I mean, if they get hot. And I think historically this event seems to come down to putting. Whoever's got the hot putters.
Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry I'm laughing because I just thought of a hell of a U.S. pairing that would drive each other nuts. Koepka and Cantlay.
Oh, God.
I might be fisticuffs on the first green.
Just pick it up.
Just pick it up. Hey, let's go.
Yeah, you know what? There's some of that. If you're a captain, you need to understand.
You gotta know.
So you're having conversations with guys outside the room and go, okay, which one of you guys is willing to play with Cantlay?
Yes, absolutely.
The human rain delay.
Because Cantlay was an automatic bid.
He
right?
was.
He was in.
Yep.
Yeah, so there's not much he can do there.
JT will take one for the team, and Fowler and Spieth will be partners.
You can't split up because Spieth. I texted you guys this. Spieth. This was my prediction.
I thought you were going to say use text Spieth.
I should have.
Okay.
But that was my text this morning. Was Spieth will be JT's babysitter.
You're probably not wrong.
You mean off the course or
both? I mean, it's going to be like JT has a bad round. Spieth's going to be in his room talking about it's okay, buddy. We're going to get through.
Here's what I predict with JT. The guy, I think he's going to perform. I think he's going to step up.
Yep.
I think, and I know.
I hope so. Yeah.
You saw him at 3M. You saw him. He's got some deficiencies with the putter. But I think at that level, those guys, it's between their ears.
He did say, I watched his interview this morning, and it was it was one of the more awkward interviews, not only because it was on Zoom, but because everybody was subtly implying that he shouldn't be there without telling him he shouldn't be there. You know, defend why you're on the team kind of deal. And JT made a good point. He said after the Wyndham Championship, he put his clubs away for 2 weeks. The season was done. And he's in a different spot than some of these guys where he's hungry to get back at it. And a lot of these guys are kind of ready for the season to be done. They want their break. So he's in a different headspace. And personally, yeah, if you hit the reset button and not touch your clubs for 2 weeks, you're coming back a different person. So I get that. But again, I lean on recent form. I don't think that so you take 2 weeks off and the first thing back, you've got how many thousands of fans yelling at you because you're an American on European soil.
Bring it on.
That cannot be good for you.
So if you're Lucas Glover today, right now, what are you thinking?
I am so mad. I got robbed.
5 weeks ago, you weren't even on the radar for Ryder Cup.
Well, but he said too, when he was asked, they asked him, have you thought about Ryder Cup? He said, yeah, 15 minutes ago when I really want to be on the team. Sure. The guy really wanted to be on the team. And it could have been said, yeah, if he has a good week this last week at the champ, that he makes it.
Gets him in, yeah.
So that's on him there. But there again, I mean, you look at, I just think there's hotter guys that you could bring on the team.
So Zach's the captain. Who are the co-captains? Has he announced?
I don't even know.
Couples.
Is Freddie back?
Freddie Couples.
He's got some experience.
You're right. You're right. It is Freddie. I've heard Freddie do an interview.
Because that plays into it when you think of team dynamics and who they want on. I was just thinking if Zach solely made this decision on his own or if he partnered with his co-captains.
He's got a lot of co-captains. And then he obviously, I think Tom Hoagie kind of alluded to it when he was here.
Yeah, it's a good.
He talks to the players that are going to be on the team. Who do you guys want in here?
Yeah,
your locker room.
And that's where, like, a guy like Tom Hoagie, if he's not in the top six, and a guy like Lucas Glover, if you're not in the top six, you're probably not getting the call up.
Yeah. I'm sure there's a little good old boys.
Sure,
and that happened to Tom. Who was the match play guy that they chose instead of Tom, and he did not
for President's Cup.
Yeah, for President's Cup.
Was it Harris English?
No, it was the little guy that plays well in the match play in Austin, Texas, all the time. He plays really well.
Little guy,
smaller guy. He's won that match play event multiple times, and they chose him for President's Cup over Tom. But
okay.
Anyways, I'm super pumped as it's getting closer and closer.
You're going to be there.
That I actually get to be at a Ryder Cup on foreign soil.
You gonna rock a
That's
U.S.
super
jersey?
cool.
I'm going to figure something out. Yes. Yeah, I'm gonna.
I don't know. You guys didn't even mention it. I went full Ryder Cup gear today. I got my Ryder
Yeah,
Cup.
you do.
Looks good.
pullover.
You need some gear.
Good.
You need a U.S. jersey. I got a Zach Parise U.S. hockey jersey.
It's not bad.
It's a sweet jersey.
That's not
That's
bad.
good too.
I got to come up with something. So Jeff Drimmel, who's
How about- Sorry, not to jump in right here. How about this? I saw a picture today. Somebody went tanning, and they blocked off their chest with the stars and stripes.
That's
you
beautiful.
ever do
Start
that?
now, Mark.
that's a new level.
Start now.
That's
you could
a
do
new
it.
level.
Just get him
Yep.
out there. He's bare chested with the stars and stripes.
Yep.
Well, I was going to say, so Jeff Drimmel, the CEO of Minnesota section,
Yep.
our leader
Yep.
as professionals, he's part of that Vikings group that shows up every
Oh,
year at
yeah.
the Ryder Cup,
Oh wow.
and they wear the horns.
Big
I mean,
guy.
they get a lot of TV time.
That's awesome. He's part of that.
Yes, he not only he might be one of the coordinators of it.
Yeah. I want to see you in
So-
the belly of the beast. I want to see
I
you
wanna
right
see
there
it.
chanting.
Yeah.
Wonder if it's too late to A, get press credentials, B, end up with the Vikings group.
Well, they get their own jerseys. They got their
Get
own
jerseys.
jerseys too. Right?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to. I'm
should
gonna
reach out
message
to
him.
him.
But
Can we do a podcast while you're abroad?
yes,
And-
and that's what I think it'd be fun.
Yep. Yep. Agreed. We'll interview maybe Brooksy.
Yeah, let me get one of those guys.
Just look at the list of guys.
Yeah,
I'm just
just-
thinking he would be the one that would jump in and say, sure, I'll do that.
I want
Yeah,
so
right.
before I leave, guys, would you just give me a list of priority who you
Who?
want me to
Yeah.
interview?
Just a list
Get
from
him on the show.
Kepka to last.
got
It'll be
Brooks
Rob
first.
McIntyre. That'll
Okay.
be my last pick.
Oh,
Let me
we don't want to interview a European.
What do you mean? We can chirp them,
Heckle?
get in their head.
I like it.
Actually, it'd be hilarious. You remember like the old Dave Letterman deal when he'd just send a reporter like
Yes.
into situations and just interview them.
Just act like you know what you're doing. Yeah. I love
Let
it.
me work on this. I've got a lot of other things to do, but I've got a little bit of time.
And we're going to
Month
get
away.
you in to the Ryder
If
Cup.
you show up with that appearance right there.
With
Seriously,
what?
the microphone and the headgear, they're gonna think you're somebody, and you're gonna get in your press
Yes.
box.
Yes,
100%.
I'm legit gonna try and get credentials through the PGA.
I think it's late, but if you do, keep us in the loop because that's
Well, I'm pretty sure I'd share it with you.
Yeah, that'd be good.
I wouldn't just spring it on you.
yeah.
But
Thanks.
we're looking forward to it. It's gonna be so much fun. And
So talk about the viewing experience at a Ryder Cup because I know when we went in 2016 at Hazeltine, because this is completely different territory from a golf watching perspective if you're not in front of a TV because there's only 4 groups out on the golf course and like
Yeah.
30,000 people.
30,000 people trying to
Yeah,
watch.
it's hard. Yeah.
How do you? Because I will say that's probably one of your strengths is watching golf tournaments live, whether it's Hazeltine, whether it's obviously
Augusta.
your top tier is Augusta. You got that place figured out. But how do you do the Ryder Cup?
Well, the Ryder Cup's tricky, but Hazeltine did a fantastic job with having large video monitors
Mhm.
on site, and then you wore headphones. You could buy them or rent them, and then you had your choice of the BBC telecast, the Golf Channel telecast, or I think you could listen to radio.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
you could, so you knew what was going on. So you were, say that you wanted to be on the first tee. You could be on the first tee for the afternoon wave and watch the morning golf on the big screen. And you knew what was going on. And if you were patient enough, you could be there for the afternoon tee times. It was a great experience.
They did a
Well,
nice job. Yeah.
But you can't attend a Ryder Cup the way you'd probably attend a normal expectations need to change. You're not going to be able to really walk around with a group because there's so many people on the golf course and they'll camp up. They'll camp out. And so you might have to leapfrog and go 3 or 4 holes ahead and just be patient, listen or watch the event on the screens, and then be ready when those 4 groups come through. So I think that'll be our approach. We'll probably walk the whole golf course and just leapfrog groups and watch as folks come through.
I know we
So-
got lucky in 2016, like just dumb luck because through your PGA credentials got us into the PGA tent. And we did the deal. We got there early. We saw the first tee times go
Yes.
off. And then we were just standing room, didn't get in the stands. And then we went, got breakfast at the PGA tent, watched the early morning groups on the TV. And I remember this is a core memory for me because how could it not be?
Yep.
But we're sitting there. I just picked an open table in front of a TV. We're from here to the camera away watching TV. And
Yeah.
sure enough, they start bringing out a podium And then they bring out an easel and with an award that says 50 years of service, thanks Jack Nicklaus.
Yeah.
I remember I turned to my buddy Jake Beatty and I go, that's not the Jack Nicklaus, is it? That's a different Jack Nicklaus. And then 10 minutes later, sure enough, the Jack Nicklaus walks out, accepts this award, gives a big speech,
Yeah.
and hangs around the tent afterwards
It's unbelievable.
at
You
the
gotta-
Ryder Cup.
Yeah. I have a photo of that. I'll get that on.
Well,
I'll get that on.
I have it
So,
as well.
yeah.
I'm going to send it to Kylie. But that was a core Ryder Cup memory there. And then I think at the same time, did you guys go?
Yeah. So can I
Chuck's
jump
got-
in?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you got to jump
So
in.
as a rookie at Ryder Cup, reached out to Mark with the credentials and the know-how. He says, yeah, you and Zach. So I brought my youngest, Zach Johnson, not team captain, but
That'd be something.
it would be. And we joined you, and we got there early enough. Dad was with us.
Yes.
I don't know if you were there, LJ, or not, but we sat in the grandstand waiting for the second wave of players
The
to
afternoon
tee
wave.
off, right?
Yep.
It was like an hour and a half. But it was so fun because you had the European cheer group and the US cheer group. We're in the belly of the beast. And they're
Yeah.
chanting back and forth. And like Mark said, they had a Jumbotron going. So you could watch the play. What I was trying to find here, guys, there was 2 players that did not play in the second wave. And they came up into the grandstand and they were 15 feet from us. Can you name who the 2 players were?
Oh,
Yep.
I got one of them, I think.
There's irony here.
I know. I got one of them.
Okay.
Say it.
JT.
And
I don't know
Was
the
it
other one.
Spieth?
Zach Johnson.
And it was Zach Johnson.
JT and Zach Johnson were in the belly of the beast
So they may be bonded.
with the U.S. team. And I got a picture of
Oh.
them because they came out and my Zach and I got into the walkway where they had to go right by us. And I took a picture of Zach Johnson walking by Zach Johnson and JT's right behind him.
So that would have been a hot take on why he was going to pick JT.
They were
hadn't
buddies.
thought of it.
They're
They're
buddies.
buddies. They bonded over a
They-
Ryder Cup moment.
Yep, in the grandstand.
I remember when they did that. I couldn't remember both
Yep,
players.
I was
but-
fine.
Well, I was going to say too. The other thing was, I think the other group they weren't in the tent, but they were walking around. They saw the '80s Miracle Team and Mike
Oh,
Ruzzioni.
yeah, we
and,
met
who's the other one that was with them?
Um,
It was Rizzo and someone else.
Ruzzioni. Yeah, I actually stopped and
Was it
talked
Mark
to him.
Johnson?
I don't know if he was
Slapshot
there or
Mark
not.
Johnson.
No, that's Dave Christian, Slapshot.
No,
Davey
that's-
Christian.
I always get that wrong. I don't know
Yeah,
why.
UND product.
Yep.
Chuck beat him in a match play event once. You beat an Olympic champion, Chuck.
I did, and he was marking his ball with the gold medal. That was intimidating.
That would be intimidating.
I asked him, I'm like, why aren't you? I would have been so intimidated.
Marking your golf ball with
Yeah,
a
the
gold medal. Of course, the ribbon would be off of it.
Yeah.
Right? It would just
Yeah,
be the
I'm
medal.
going to need you to move that like 3 putter heads over.
That's funny.
That's good.
Hey.
But you beat him at least. That's good.
I did.
Yeah. So that was. I mean, but yeah, you were talking about watching the. I mean, watching the Ryder Cup, you get a lot of people, at least on the American soil, that enjoy golf. So you got Jack Nicklaus, and you got Michael Jordan was there.
That's right.
Some of the
watching.
wild hockey team was there.
Wild hockey team was there.
Yeah.
Matt Dumba. Me and Jake Beatty ran into Matt
Yep,
Dumba
yep.
in the tent. I go, hey, that's Matt Dumba. He
He's a
goes,
small
"Hey,
guy.
man."
He wasn't
not
very
as
big.
big as
No.
you
He's not
think
tall.
he would be.
Yep.
I guess he's an ex-wild now. I think he's a coyote.
That's true.
He's not one of us.
but that's okay.
So, how about does DraftKings have? Can you do Ryder Cup in DraftKings?
That's a really good question. I don't recall.
We've got
We'll
some
have to look
time
into
before.
that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Be interesting what they do for that.
If they do,
If they do.
If they do. Yep. We'll research that.
I don't know how they would, but
Okay, I found my pictures. There's Michael Jordan. Hey, who's this guy?
yeah, we'll have to share some photos. That's my
Right there.
cover photo.
There's Zach Johnson with JT right behind him.
Wow.
He looks like he's ready to take you out.
yeah,
He
seriously,
might have been.
get out of the way, Chuck.
See that though?
So you know what I do have a feather in my cap is I have beat the Ryder Cup champion at the North Dakota Open.
Yeah, full circle right here.
Full
Say that
circle.
again?
The Ryder Cup
Yeah.
captain.
Zach Johnson, who I'm looking at.
One year he didn't make it out of the Monday qualifier. He shot 78,
Is that right?
and so they sent him a refund check. We kept $100. This was before I was managing the event. And so he got $350 back. It was a $450 entry at that time. So he didn't get out of the Monday qualifier. The next year he made the cut. I happened to make the cut and happened to beat him that year.
No way. Good
Yeah.
for you.
He was
Not
still
for
in his formative professional years.
When you run into him abroad, you should bring that story.
I'm
up.
gonna bring up the Fargo Country Club.
Hey, by the way, You remember Faro Country Club, North Dakota Open. Well, I mean, it's guys.
It's fun.
Still got a couple weeks. I know next week, the 4th. So right before we record, they're going to come out with the European picks, and we'll have at least a for sure deal. We can talk about matchups and what we think those will look like then. But until then, we got a full U.S. team. Kind of like we said, kind of the good old boys club. I think the vibes in the locker room, they're going for high vibes across the pond. Is kind of my professional take on that.
Yep.
I don't know that recent form is going to be huge in that.
Well, I predict Mark's going to be celebrating champagne baths with the U.S. team afterwards. That's what I'm seeing.
That'd be impressive.
I think, yeah, I'm just going to go there
and
and
be bear hugging.
I'm going to act like I've been there before. I'm going to just,
Yep.
yeah.
There you go. Anything else you guys need to add into this?
Nope. Fantastic time for golf. Get out and play. Courses are in great shape yet. September, this end of August, beginning of September, great time to play. Sweet shots. We are popping. It seems like everything's coming together now. The college kids are back.
Yep, we got great specials.
Yep, great specials.
How about those beer towers?
Unbelievable beer towers. 100 ounces.
100 ounces of beer gets set down right at your table.
Yep. With a golf ball.
Yep.
With a big golf ball.
Yeah.
Yep.
You got to come out and see it.
Check it out. They're just fun. Get on out. Get yourself. The patio's still cranking. I mean, patio beers in the fall. I don't know that there's anything better than that.
That's right.
You got fall golf. We've got stuff starting up here. We've got the Ryder Cup coming up. I mean, what a time. What a time to be alive.
It's fun.
Anything else?
Nope.
That's it.
That's it.
Nice
Thanks
work,
again to Andre Metzger for joining. Best of luck to him moving forward. We've got Ryder Cup. We've got more on that next week. No DraftKings this week, but anyway, best of luck to everyone moving forward. So thanks again for listening. We're going to catch you next time.